let's talk about the Amazon AI monster. Because this isn't just some helpful little chatbot that suggests lube when you panic buy a plunger. This is Cthulhu's bastard cousin in a prime delivery truck. Tentacles made out of fibre optic cables, data centres, and a one-click buy button that's less a feature and more of a hostage situation. And its newest trick, it wants to rent your own goddamn PC back to you. I'm sick of this corpo shit. People keep asking me, Tone, how can you defend Larian using AI but want to dropkick Bezos into a fucking volcano? Well, that's easy. One's using a tool, the other's building a digital slumlord empire. Game studios are poking around AI with a stick in pre-production. Amazon's plan is, what if their actual PC had a landlord, okay? And that landlord was us. Miss a payment, say goodbye to their files, games, and dignity. It's foolproof. So, picture this. Somewhere in a penthouse office, there's a corpo staring at your gaming rig going, why let the peasants own stuff when we can just charge them rent forever? That'll make way more money. Jeff Bezos basically came out and said the quiet part out loud. He wants you to ditch your actual PC and rent a cloud AI version instead. You know, like how Netflix replaced your DVD collection, except now it's your entire tower sitting in someone else's server farm while you stare at what's basically a very expensive Etch-a-Sketch. Your desktop becomes a thin client, a screen that's given up on life, a permanent leash to Amazon's data centers, which you don't control, and monthly invoices for the privilege of using a fucking keyboard. You're not upgrading to some slick AI future, you're downgrading to a rental brain that can be turned off if your card declines. You all know how corpos are. One missed payment and the only thing your PC will boot up is a fucking ransom note. Amazon already pulled this move with books, music, and movies, turning ownership into a temporary access subject to change. Now, the goal is, what if the hardware itself was a subscription? You don't own the games, the films, or the machine. You'll just be a guest in your own computing experience, one payment away from getting digitally repoed. Here's the evil part. They're not just offering cloud PCs, they're quietly making it impossible to afford a real one, then showing up like a hero going, hey, I can solve that for you, for a small monthly fee, forever. AI is currently devouring high-end components, like the fucking cookie monster, RAM, GPUs, the good stuff. Basically anything that doesn't scream when you drag it is getting dragged straight into corporate server dungeons. People are already throwing around terms like RAM crisis or RAMageddon, which sounds like a sci-fi original, but it's actually your future, where all the good hardware lives in a data centre and you're left fighting over whatever the fuck fell off the truck. Then they show up with the world's most punchable sales pitch. Wow! PCs sure are pricey these days, huh? Weird how that happened. Good thing, you can just rent a powerful PC in the cloud for a low monthly fee. Until you do the math on year free, and then realize you could have bought a car. They're the arsonist, the fire department, and the guy selling you fire insurance. It's a beautiful scam. If you're a dead inside evil fucking bastard. Short term, yeah, the cloud deal looks cheaper than dropping $2,000 on a rig. But long term, you are paying forever rent on a computer that doesn't even live in your house. And good luck switching providers when the hardware market's been strip mined into fucking oblivion. This is not an oopsie daisy, it's a business model. 1. Hoard all the good hardware in mega data centers. 2. Let AI demand inflate consumer prices into the stratosphere. 3. Convince people that AI PCs in the cloud are the only sane option left. And 4. Slap innovation on the invoice and charge people monthly for a desktop that isn't even theirs. And before some tech bro pops into the comments like, actually Tom, other companies do cloud PCs too. Yeah, no shit. That's the fucking problem. Amazon's just the one saying the quiet part out loud. Give up your PC and rent his ghost from our server farm. but the whole industry's sniffing the same corporate glue. Microsoft's already selling cloud PCs where Windows lives in a data centre, and your laptop is basically a glorified remote desktop session. Nvidia's been hoarding GPUs for AI server farms like Smog, sitting on a pile of RTX cards whilst everyone else fights over entry-level scraps. Google's been training people for years to treat a Chromebook as a browser attached to Daddy's cloud. Apple wrapped half your life in subscriptions and called it an ecosystem because lease your music, lease your storage, and lease your apps sounds a lot nicer than digital bastard landlord. Amazon's just the most honest about what they want. To turn your entire rig into Prime Video, but with extra steps and a fucking kill switch. Think of what a PC actually is to most of us. It's where your games live. The holy shrine where Baldur's Gate 3 sits next to that weird hentai game you swear you bought ironically. It's your office, where you pretend to work whilst actually watching YouTube videos about conspiracy theories involving pigeons. It's your digital attic, full of half-finished novels, 47 different mod folders, and screenshots you took in 2019 for reasons you can no longer remember. Amazon's vision is basically, none of that is yours. Fuck your nostalgia, rent it. You get a remote desktop you don't control, storage that lives in Jeff Bezos' basement, probably next to his collection of employee tiers, maintained by people whose job description is keep the servers running just well enough to avoid lawsuits, and exclusive AI-powered tools that brick themselves the instant your payment bounces. They already did this with Prime, Kindle, and Prime Video. Fake ownership everywhere. The books you bought are revocable licenses. The films you own can vanish from your library. Now picture that same energy applied to your entire fucking computer. Miss a payment? Suddenly your PC boots to a paywall. Live in the wrong zip code? Enjoy latency so bad your mouse cursor moves like it's waddling through pig shit. Piss off the wrong terms of service bot? You don't just lose access to a game, you lose access to the concept of computing. Back in the Stone Age, 2015, if software pissed you off, you could just uninstall it and tell it to go fuck itself. In Amazon's wet dream dystopia, the software is your computer and the only one getting fucked is you. Your computer is the subscription and the only person who can cancel it is them. Fucking diabolical, even by corporal standards. Amazon already treats workers like disposable NPCs. Of course they look at your PC and see a subscription. This is not a fresh new horror. This is the same corporate elder god that's been using warehouse workers as crash test dummies for the past decade. Regulators and internal studies keep flagging insane injury rates at Amazon fulfillment centres. When safety teams find changes that actually reduce injuries, leadership worries that those fixes might negatively impact productivity and quietly buries them. They've got studies showing how to make the job less likely to cripple someone, but implementing them might slow down same-day delivery by like 6 minutes, so into the trash it goes. This is a company that looks at human bodies and sees temporary, meat-based robot with annoying needs like water and dignity. So naturally, when the same executive brain looks at your gaming rig, the thought process is, wait, they own this. Well, let's fix that. Monthly payments fix everything. Cancelling Prime isn't a button, it's a fucking question. Let's talk subscription psychology, okay? Because Amazon's approach is basically how to make the numbers go up. What if we treated cancelling Prime like an escape room designed by sadists? They ate a historic multi-billion-dollar arse kicking because apparently letting people leave is not in their vocabulary. The cancel Prime button is a soul's boss of breakups. You click it and suddenly you're fighting. Are you sure you want to cancel? Like really sure? But baby, don't you want one more free month? Remember all the good times we had with free shipping. Are you sure? Like really sure? Sure? Okay, I hear you, but what about instead we just take that silly cancel button and hide it behind this settings labyrinth? If they did that just to keep you from escaping free shipping, imagine the dark patterns once your entire PC experience is behind the same paywall. Want to move off the cloud PC? Good luck exporting everything cleanly. Want to switch providers? Enjoy the labyrinth of data traps, proprietary formats, and helpful upsell prompts. The Amazon AI monster doesn't just want you to subscribe, it wants to design reality, so there's no affordable way fucking not to. And that's the bit where the other corpos are quietly nodding along. Microsoft says, what if your PC is a subscription? Nvidia says, what if only data centers can afford real GPUs? Google says, what if all your work only truly exists in our cloud? And Apple says, what if your whole life is just $9.99 a month forever? Different logos, same religion, thou shalt, rent, and people go, well, that's just capitalism. But this isn't capitalism, this is feudalism with a user interface. Capitalism assumes competitive markets, but when one company hoards the infrastructure, artificially inflates hardware costs through AI demand, then offers to solve the problem they created, that's not competition. That's a rigged game. Capitalism assumes ownership. You buy a thing, you own it. You can sell it, modify it, or tell it to go fuck off. Amazon's vision eliminates ownership entirely. You're not buying access to computing, you're renting the concept of having a computer. On their terms, forever. Capitalism assumes choice. But if they engineer a world where local hardware is unaffordable and the only rational option is subscribing to their cloud, that's not free market dynamics. That's manufactured dependency. Real capitalism has exit costs, but subscription models with dark patterns, data lock-ins, and proprietary ecosystems deliberately make leaving more expensive than staying. You're not a customer. You're captured. Inside the monster's gut, you've got small businesses and independent hardware sellers being slowly dissolved. On the selling side, Amazon charges so many fees that merchants lose nearly 50 cents on every dollar, then hits them with most favoured nation clauses, which is corpo speak for you're not allowed to be cheaper anywhere else, not even in your own fucking store. Now, take that exact nightmare and point it at computing itself. Want to rent out servers? Cool, go ahead and compete with Amazon's pricing. It's like challenging Godzilla to a fight. Want to build and sell badass gaming rigs? Good luck! When all the premium parts are getting hoovered into AI server farms, while customers are being gaslit into thinking local rigs are obsolete next to AI cloud magic. The end game is a world where only two groups of people can afford real computing power. Amazon and their billionaire buddies who own the server farms, and you, for exactly as long as your credit card clears. Everyone else gets shoved to the kiddie table with potato quality hardware that's basically just a fancy monitor for streaming your actual computer from Bezos' basement. When Amazon talks about putting your PC in the cloud, they're not just talking convenience, they're talking total transparency. Except you're the one who's see-through and they get night vision goggles. Consider their current portfolio of creepy. Alexa, a microphone you willingly invited into your bedroom. Ring cameras, because nothing says neighbourhood watch like a doorbell that snitches to corporate. Warehouse monitoring systems that track bathroom breaks with the intensity of a jealous ex. They've had repeated issues and criticism over how much data they collect and how they handle it, with smart devices quietly feeding the beast and users discovering just how little real opt-out they have once policies change. Now, imagine handing them your entire digital life, every embarrassing Steam purchase, every Google search you immediately regretted, every browser tab you definitely meant to close before your roommate walked in. And to keep this monster breathing, you need data centers, a lot of them. AI workloads are stupidly energy hungry. Amazon brags about running on 100% renewable energy, while its own climate-focused employees and independent watchdogs call out the gap between marketing math and reality. We are literally microwaving the fucking planet so Jeff Bezos can charge you monthly for the computer you used to actually own. Here's the part where people are gonna play dumb on purpose. So let me break out the hand puppets. Larrying using AI to sketch pre-production nonsense is not even in the same galaxy as Amazon using AI to turn your entire existence into a rental agreement. If Larian disappeared into the Underdark tomorrow, yeah, it'd suck, but I still have my rig. I'd still own my games. I wouldn't wake up unable to open Word because the Larian Cloud Overlord decided I missed a tribute payment. That's why this isn't some AI murdered my childhood freakout. How it's used is the problem. I don't give a shit if a studio uses AI to doodle a tree before an artist paints over it. I don't care if a game dev uses AI to help them debug code. I don't care if a YouTuber uses AI to punch up a title. I do care when $1 trillion Leviathan eyeballs your job, your media, your devices, and now your whole goddamn battle station. This isn't innovation, it's control. This has been a banter rant by Tone. So no, I'm not anti-AI. I'm anti-turning humanity's most essential modern tool, the PC, into a lease agreement managed by the same company that treats workers like disposable meat puppets, gaslights customers on prices, and designs unsubscribe buttons like fucking saw traps, backed by the same hydra of other corpos desperate to do the same thing with different branding. If that's the hellscape Jeff and his Goblin Council are peddling, I'm not a customer. I'm resistance. Fuck Amazon, Tone,